Alright, YouTube, I just got some information on the internet in regards to the Tulsa shooting incident where this guy, and he was in a sting operation, and the cops chased the guy down, and supposedly one of the cops, a 73-year-old guy, I think his name was Robert Bates, he shot the guy, and then he dropped the gun. Oh, I shot him. Oh, I'm sorry, or something, he said like that. And it's supposedly been over some, he was supposed to pull his stun gun out. I guess they were going to stun the guy. They used the stun guy on the guy. I don't know. I think whoever was in charge there, usually you have a lead officer in an incident like that, but supposedly they had some experts on the TV this morning, and they was discussing it that thing just in short, they were saying that thing just got out of hand. It was supposed to be like a controlled sting where they get this guy to like supposedly sell him a gun, and they was gonna arrest the guy. They was gonna rush in with about 20 or 30 guys and rush in and arrest the guy. Well, the guy jumped out of the car. He ran. So they ended up chasing him down, and somehow the reserve officer, I think his name was Robert Bates, he pulled his gun and shot the guy. I think whoever was supposed to have been the lead officer there supposedly that took charge. Now supposedly I forgot what jurisdiction this was in, but I think that the city of Tulsa, I think, brought charges against this guy. And this guy, he actually, the reserve officer, he actually worked for as a reserve officer for the this Robert Bates officer. He actually was a reserve officer for the Tulsa sheriff department. I guess the county sheriff department. So anyway, they end up charging this guy for manslaughter. He's 73 years old, and supposedly he had said that that he accidentally shot the guy. He was going for his taser. Now, it appears that his gun's on his right side. I don't know, I guess his taser's on his left side. You know, I don't know. Well, anyway, he ended up shooting the guy, and the Tulsa, I think this is the Tulsa DA that actually brought charges against him of manslaughter. I really don't know the legal term for it, but I think this is second-degree murder charges, which they call manslaughter. I think this is real unprecedented in the terms that this comes like about a week or so after the incident happened in South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina, where this cop, he just shot this guy in the back. To me, it looked like the guy was unarmed and he just shot him in the back. You know, that was I forgot the name. I think the name is Michael Slater in Charleston. South Carolina. Also, in I think Miami, I was look, looking at the paper from Miami, and a couple of cops are being investigated down there. Evidently, the I guess things were out of control in Miami, so I think few of the a few of the murder, not necessarily murder, but some of the shootings by the cops in Miami, where they are kind of suspicious, and I guess they got a team of investigators that are going through trying to investigate some of the shootings by I think it was the sheriff, some of the polices in the Miami area. I was reading something about like policeman in the country is he shoots someone or kills someone like every 8 hours. So it's real prevalent because the cops are real armed now. I mean, they got a lot of money from the drug investigations, and they confiscated a lot of stuff that was like 20, 30 years ago. It was like they got a lot of money, and so they used, I guess, a lot of their stuff, and I think some of the government gave them a lot of money too, to buy all this heavy armor, a lot of the weapons, automatic weapons and stuff like that. So now they're heavier armed, they're militarized, and so now I guess they just going out and just shooting up people. I hope that some of this stuff will eventually stop, but evidently in this country, the USA, there seems to be a stigma against the blacks, that they I guess labeling blacks as like being thugs, no good, depending on welfare, and so on and so forth. A lot of negative stuff. So a lot of white people, when they're coming up, they hear all this negativity, and they stigmatize blacks as being negative. So they don't want anything to do with blacks, and so anytime they have a confrontation against them, their adrenaline start rushing real hard, and they become frightened, and they get into this mode where they say, well, I fear for my life. I gotta kill this guy.